may have been virtually no rallying in Ireland this year, but in America it's the fastest growing form of motorsport. So climb on board for Chattanooga as RPM goes country when we chase the Irish into the backwoods of Tennessee on the Cherokee Trails Rally. Our trail starts in Atlanta, Georgia in the Deep South, the home of the not-so-successful Olympics in 1996, the successful Irish rallymen Noel Lawler and Charlie Bradley, who clinched the American Rally Championship in 1999, and the very successful Coca-Cola Company. This is the land of Rhett Butler and Gone with the Wind, and of redneck racing cars that go like the wind. Everything is up front and in your face here. In this world, you're paid big bucks by big-name sponsors, and you take big risks and you don't whinge. Tide, Kodak, McDonald's and Caterpillar, all the big-name brands are here. There's nothing in the closet, not even the sponsors. Viagra? That team should provide some stiff opposition. NASCAR is more than a sport, it's a religion, and a religion that has recently lost its high priest, the beloved Dale Earnhardt, who always raced with number 3 in his distinctive black racer. With 3 fingers raised to heaven, they commemorate the Terminator's memory in silence on lap 3 of every race in the series. This is a cozy world. You arrive in style, see everything from one vantage point, and have everything to hand, including the compulsory hot dog. NASCAR originated from the moonshine runners who race through the backwoods and has developed into the super stadiums. Can rallying persuade the fans to return to the woods? It's a tough task.
No, we're not going to Chattanooga by choo-choo, but just like the famous Iron Horse, heading for the same bend on the Tennessee River. And like the railroad pioneers, they're also trailblazing in a sense. Sports Car Club of America have uncovered some tasty roads in the Appalachian Mountains in their continuing bid to get the World Rally Championship back to the US of A.
Pardon me, girls, but this is the Chattanooga Choo-Choo, and RPM is in Tennessee this weekend to record a very different kind of automotive file. Chattanooga Choo-Choo! 121 years ago, almost to the day, the first major north-south rail link between Cincinnati and Chattanooga opened. And now the Sports Car Club of America are introducing rallying to this Tennessee town.
Chattanooga may have been the end of the line for the world-famous railroad, but could it be the beginning of the line for a new chapter in the development of rallying in the States? The education process starts in a specially created press compound on the outskirts of the city. The media are used to being pampered, and it's used to go as the organisers and the local council provide a press hospitality area, complete with a cola bar, and as much as you can eat barbecue for the local hacks. But this guy is neither hack nor local.
What brings you out to this one?
I have season tickets for Bristol NASCAR race, which is next weekend. So when I saw that we have a rally here, I said, oh, let's go come with my son 1 week earlier and see what this rally is about.
Curiosity is intense, and the local tourist authorities are certainly excited.
I think the sports casters and those who follow sports would call this a minor sport in terms of spectator participation. But in terms of the community impact and how this is viewed by those involved in the hospitality sector, the convention and visitor bureau, and in economic development terms, we view it as a major activity, and there's nothing minor about it.
And City Hall are certainly not thinking of it as a one-off event.
This is quite a big week for Chattanooga.
Absolutely. We're excited and enthusiastic about being the host community for our first rally event, and quite frankly, we're hoping this is only the beginning.
Noel Lawler spearheads the considerable Irish community in rallying in the United States. Over the past 10 years, the Mailman has progressed through the ranks with his long-term partner from Donegal, Charlie Bradley, to drive for a Hyundai team and to gain the ultimate accolade as SCCA ProRally champions in 1999. Back home in Ireland, his brief appearances have been more dramatic than successful. Mistake about it. Noel has created quite an impression in the States. He's even had a road car named after him. Seamus Burke and Frank Bradley are another Irish crew at the sharp end of American rallying. Mitsubishi Evo 5, which does not have to carry the same restrictors as the European Group N sisters, is proving to be a highly effective weapon in the American forests. Thomas and Brendan Lawless, who are based in that other Irish Rallyman's American power base, New York, have an Evo 4. John Drislin and Declan Hegarty have another Evo 4. Noel Nash even has a Northern Ireland registered Evo 3.
Downtown Chattanooga on Thursday morning, and most folk are wondering what all the fuss is about. Noel Lawler and Charlie Bradley started number 3, desperate for a good result after a 2000 season that has brought them disappointment after disappointment. And another retirement a few weeks ago when the Handy's engine blew prior to the start of the opening round in Michigan. The Irish pair need some good luck on St. Patrick's weekend in Tennessee. No, that seems appropriate. We're starting outside an aquarium today.
Yeah, with the rains up here, it usually doesn't rain this much. But I think we had 1.5 or 2 inches of rain yesterday, and some of these roads they're going to be a lot different this morning than they were 2 days ago when we did the pace notes. So,
champion 2 years ago, it'd be nice to get back on that trail again.
Yeah, we were haunted last year with an awful lot of problems with the car, and I think they have them all worked out now. So we're hoping that we pull her off this year. The car's never been as good. I've never driven a car as well as this one, so they've done a hell of a job, and hopefully it holds up.
3 days of rallying lie ahead, and the 87 and 88 Irish tarmac champion is surprisingly one of Noel's rivals. Mark, you're a little bit away from home.
A long way, not as far as you.
Of course, you've done the first round of the championship this year.
Yes, we did the round in Michigan and finished second on the ice and the snow, which I was pleased with. This is going to be a different game, though, on the muddy, slippy roads. Also, we're running, as you're aware, in Group N. A bit of a power disadvantage, but with a rain like this it may just help a bit if we can keep it on the straight and narrow.
Pro driver flown out from England to run Mark's car, as has Richard Tuthill. What brings you out here?
I was asked to come out and drive a Mitsubishi by a team in California winning makes, so here I am to try and cause some trouble.
Well, of course, forests are much the same anywhere in the world.
Yeah, particularly here. I mean, you could almost be in Wales, apart from there's no straits, but it's Wales or Portugal, very similar territory here.
You impressed with the car?
Yeah, the 40mm restrictor gives you a lot more power. It seems a bit sideways, like an Escort rather than a four-wheel drive car, but no doubt we'll get used to it.
New stages and new to the SCCA series for this event is the introduction of pace notes. Not even John Buffon, the architect of American rallying, will have any knowledge of the Appalachian mountain forests. John, what did they say about old soldiers?
Yeah. Neil and I, when we did Portugal last year, we said the same thing. You know, we're too old to be these guys' fathers.
Yeah, but you're not too old to be quick, we know that.
Well, yeah, I think I've slowed down a bit over the last couple of years, actually. But we'll see how it goes. We're here with the second Hyundai to sort of back up Noel.
And calling the notes for John is another old-timer, Neil Wilson, who used to navigate for Robin Eyre Monsell, amongst others. 60 miles down the road, and we're in the Cherokee National Park, and that's where the action begins.
First round winner Paul Chounier is absent, so Mark Lovell, who was second in Michigan, is reseeded to run first on the road. The Somerset driver, however, is only 5th fastest on the first stage, but he wakes up on stage 2 to take second fastest time, and lying 4th place after the opening stages in his stretched Group N car. New stages and also new officials. Noel Lawler and Charlie Bradley have had a major misunderstanding with the start marshal in the first stage, which initially cost some time. However, this is later corrected in the results, giving Noel the fastest time on the opening stage. The Tiburons may be the most powerful cars in the event, but they're now beginning to fall a bit behind the technology stakes, not benefiting from the differentials, and consequently the improved traction that's found in some of the Japanese cars. Lawler lies in 3rd place on the official sheets after the first 2 stages in the Cargotec Hyundai. The core of the American rallying scene has always centred around John Buffum. He proved his talent behind the wheel many years ago at World Championship level, and these days John runs the Hyundai team for his stepson Paul Chounier and Noel Lawler. Paul is absent for medical reasons, so Dad stepped into his seat. The old magic is still there. Buffum leads after 2 tests. Garen Schrader is another regular in the American series, but it's another Evo 4 that's really making an impression in Tennessee. Richard Tuthill, son of Francis Tuthill, the former VW rally ace and historic Porsche tuner, is flying. The young English driver is 2nd fastest on the first stage and then tops the times on stage 2 to trail Buffum by just 1 second. ProDrive's presence has brought a new professionalism to the series. Carl Schriebel is Mark's American teammate in a strictly Group N Impreza. The last corner on stage 2 is catching out a number of people, and Carl is the closest to come to grief here. Seamus Burke honed his rallying skills in a Mark II Escort on the tarmac stages of Ireland before emigrating to the States. The building contractor is now based in Atlanta. He and Frank Cunningham come to Tennessee in 3rd place in the series after their Michigan result. John Kemp has always been able to get amazing results in this ageing Audi. Today is no exception. The 17-year-old Quattro posts 8th fastest time on the 2nd stage. And here's another legendary family in American motorsport. New Zealander Rod Millen has traditionally been John Buffum's big rival. Now his son Rhys defends the family honour. He's in trouble on stage 2. Peter Lamb hurries through in his Evo 4. And Michael Whiteman has a Sierra, which is rare in this part of the world. Brian Hurt's Honda seems indecently quick. Maybe it's because it's entered by Honda's Racing Research. The interest in rallying amongst the Irish community in the Big Apple is so great that they formed an Irish New York Rally Club. Thomas and Brendan Lawless are founder members. The Irish brothers post 12th fastest time on stage 2. And here's a lady we've met before. Gail Trues likes to kick butt in her Mazda 323. The last time we saw it, it kicked a tree in Maine. Audi Quattros have been one of the few European cars suitable for rallying that have been imported into the States until recently. This has stymied the growth of the sport. Cars like Escort Cosworths, which have not had American type approval, have had to be imported on temporary permits. So the Audis and specially built Hyundais have ruled the stages until the recent arrivals of the Mitsubishis and Subarus. That's one import that's in trouble. It would seem that the rubber band in Andrew Hava's rotary Mazda needs to be wound up a little. However, once the RX-7 gets going, there's no stopping the birthday boy. Mike Haley gave the new Beetle its competition debut in America 2 years ago, and he continues to get good results in the production class. The Irish are there to cheer on their own, and here's another pair from home, Niall Donnelly and Frank McAllister, their Mitsubishi Eclipse.
3, 4 and 5 are north of the Curry River, right in the heart of the Cherokee National Park. This is the spectacular stretch of water that was used in the canoeing competitions during the Olympics. Stage 3 runs up the old highway through Buck Gap, and the ProDrive Subaru will shatter the silence. But try as Mark Lovell obviously is, it would seem that the ProDrive may have underestimated the opposition in America. This modified Group N car is simply not just quite quick enough. Mark is 15 seconds slower than the top man through Buck Gap. Richard Tuthill is proving to be a considerable thorn in Subaru's tyre tracks as the English youngster stretches his advantage to 11 seconds in a very impressive drive. That first stage fumble is still being sorted out, but Lawler is now really on song in the Snap-on 2's Hyundai. He is second fastest at Buck Gap, and then goes to head the charts in Stage 4, Duckett Ridge, to close in Tuthill and Buffon. It's impressive stuff, but very close to the edge at times. But this is making up for all those 6 retirements last year, and that old unshakable Lawler confidence is growing by the mile. On the 5th and final stage of the day, Black Mountain, Noel and Charlie are quickest again. They are posted in 3rd place at the end of the day, but when all the sums are corrected, they will be only a few seconds between the English crew and the Irishmen. The old master has proved once again that his star is still shining. John Buffon finishes the day in 2nd place. Seamus Burke is keeping his championship hopes very much alive with a strong and spectacular run through the opening day to finish in 5th position after 5 stages. And Rhys Millen gets those Stage 2 gremlins repaired to record some fast times and haul his Mitsubishi back up into 6th overnight. But there is more trouble ahead for the young driver. Carl Schiebel survived the ditch to lie in 7th place, and Tim Patterson leads a trio of Mitsubishis in his Evo 3 example. Tom Lawless and Brian Sharkey are the 3rd Irish crew in the top 10 in the Evo 4. Peter Lamb completes the honourable list. And there's more St Patrick's weekend cheer with Marshall Clark from Enniskillen navigating Alex Erascotti to 11th overnight. John Drislane and Paul Goodman are 12th, and Henry and Cindy Korolewski are 13th, and they're definitely not Irish. And the girls continued to kick butt. Andrew Havas, navigated by last-minute super sub Roderick Hendrickson, are having a mighty run. The rotary roustabouts are 14th and climbing. John Kemp is navigated by Dan Sprungle, remember him on the main rally. And Kuyos Jerome seems to have got that Cosworth working again. Penny May certainly seems to be enjoying things.
On the court!
Keeping an eye out for the copperhead snakes and the black bear, who are the more regular inhabitants of these woods, we watch the locals wonder at this new sport that has invaded their backwoods. There ain't no Chevys, them they're European cars, one local was heard to remark. European, Japanese, it's all the same when you come from the dueling banjos country. Second day of the Sports Car Club of America's Championship qualifiers. And the mailman Noel Laura and his Donegal sidekick Charlie Bradley have sorted out that false start problem on the first stage of the first day. On corrected time, the 400 horsepower Cargotec Hyundai Tiburon is now just seconds behind the leaders, and we're in for a dynamite day in the superfast forests. Tuthill tops the times on the opening test, and how? The young Englishman is 30 seconds faster than Noel. It's a wake-up call that the Irishman did not need. This young upstart has got to be put back in his box if the reputation of American Series is to be preserved at home and abroad. On Benton Mountain, the 1999 champion replies when Noel takes 35 seconds back. We've been treated to a life-on-the-edge experience from these two drivers as an epic Anglo-Irish battle develops over the American stages. This is just the tonic that Lawler needs. His 2000 season read like a horror movie. John Buffon continues in his support role, now dropping behind the Tuthill-Lawler battle. But Mark Lovell and ProDrive's hopes take a dive on stage 7 when the former Irish champion crashes out. It's all good news for Seamus Burke as his championship rival has retired and he's now moved up to 4th. John Drislane also moves up to join Tom Lawless and make it 4 Irish crews in the top 10. 5 if you count Marshall Clark's role in the passenger seat of Alex Arissotti's Audi. Incidentally, that's the ex-Jimmy McRae car. But the car sounds rough and we're about to say goodbye. A rotary rocket continues to impress. Havis is now knocking on the top 10. The Mazda's just seconds behind the Krolikowski's Group N Impreza, which is moving to the head of the showroom class. And Brian Hurt's screaming little 2-litre Honda is up to 14th, but it will also retire. Noel Nash in his Evo and Niall Donnelly in his Mitsubishi Eclipse are still in the fray as we move further into the land of the dueling banjos. Yes, things are a lot different in America as the clubmen join in with the international runners on the Cherokee Trails.
I've heard the music of a rail slapping every dirty chair.
Central services at the Whitewater Center on the Oki River, which was built for the canoeing events in the 1996 Atlanta Olympics.
I'll be checking out again. Baby, you don't know my mind today.
The Hyundai team are in good spirits, with Noel and Charlie determined to take over the lead in the next loop of stages, and their leader John Buffon amassing some very useful points in 3rd place.
First stage this morning we had a lot of problems. Richard Tuthill took 20 seconds off me. And then we went into the
So
next.
that woke you up a bit, I'm sure, yeah?
Yeah, it did. It woke me up, and I went into the next stage, and it was dry, and the tyres were great, and I took 30 off Tuthill and 22 off Buffum. So, but I basically parked the brain and said this is it, and we had the whole car most times in some of those fast rights and lefts off the road altogether, under the trees, cutting the corners.
Richard is still in the lead, but only just. You gave Noel a bit of a wake-up call this morning.
Yeah, but he's returned the favour.
Is this your first American event?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
There's a few people talking about you already.
Good, that's what we want.
Would you hope to do more rounds out here?
Yeah, we're hoping to do Oregon, which is the next one, and then Rim of the World. But we're playing it by ear. We'll see how we go.
Seamus Burke is the silent type, so we talked to Frank Cunningham. Frank, you had a pretty troublesome day yesterday.
Yeah, I think it was troublesome for everybody. It was just very slippy. Choice of tyres, you couldn't make the right choice. 1 minute it was dry, under the trees it was wet. It was just a very difficult choice. But throughout the day it was a steady run. That's what we wanted. It's a new car. Seamus, as long as he can learn the car on the first day. Now we're up to 4th and we're very happy with that. If we finish this event, we'll lead the US Championship.
Good news from Frank, but bad news from Tom Lawless's navigator. Brian, a lot of activity under the car there. I hope it's not bad news.
No, it is bad news. For the last 2 stages, since the last service, our drive shaft is packed up and we're just trying to change it now. We've about 6 minutes left and hopefully we'll get it done.
John Drislane is just one of the large Irish New York contingent. John, plenty of Irish flags and Irish accents around this camp.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. There's a big crew down from New York for the weekend.
And this rallying contingent, the Irish contingent here in America, very, very strong indeed.
It's very strong in the New York region, in New York City. Very strong. Like we just started a new club, the Irish Rally Club, and it's very good. A lot of interest.
Tuthill blasts into view of the Smith Mountain stage in his Evo, giving it the full of the rack, as they would say in Donegal. Noel follows him in. This is loose surface rallying at the limit. Anyone who's doubted the pace of the American scene has only to look at these pictures. But it is pace at a price, a very big price. Comes through, followed thankfully by Tom Lawless, but then to our amazement, Charlie Bradley walks out of the dust. Cargo Tech Hyundai is now a wreck, a mile further into the Smith Mountain stage.
We just come on too quick to the corner and jump over the bank. Down to 50 or 60 feet.
Well, first thing is Noel all right?
Yeah, Noel's all right. Everybody's all right, just the car's badly damaged.
The Irish pair can count themselves fortunate to have survived this one. Well, not the way you hoped to end this rally.
No, definitely not. We're a bit too quick and caught us out, but I guess Tuthill hit a tree here at the same corner just before me, and Seamus Burke, all I saw when I was getting out of the car was the whole back of his car hanging out over the edge, so it's a deceiving corner. Caught me.
That is indeed Tuthill's taillight at the base of the tree. Now all that is left is the long walk out of the stage and the inevitable explanations to the team. It's all a bit confusing for the locals.
We camped on top of the hill and watched some cars go by.
What'd you think?
It's awful fast to be going on a gravel road.
Who impressed you when you were watching the rally?
The one that did the big fishtails going around in turns.
Yeah. Like who? Remember what sort of car?
All I know is a foreign one. It wasn't no Chevrolet.
No Chevrolets, but plenty of Irish still on the timesheets at the end of a hard day in the backwoods. But Tom Lawless and Brian Sharkey's noble efforts will come to an end when they will retire with a broken strut. Niall and Paul Donnelly finish in 19th place. Of course, you're very much part of this New York Motor Club.
A little bit of got wrangled into the job of secretary there, so we have about 55 or 60 members at the minute, and we're trying to build on it. So hopefully it'll be good. We have about 30 rally cars. Started out 2 years ago with maybe 3 or 4. Now with 35 or 36 drivers.
Noel Nash and Patrick McGrath are 11th.
3 of us in the top 10. It's good. We just formed a new Irish rally club in New York, and it'll be good for the club. It'll be good for the club. It'll be good for everybody.
John Drislin and Paul Goodman are 8th. John, congratulations. Well inside the top 10.
Oh yeah, we were finished well there. We were very happy with the event. Very happy.
What's your final position?
I'd say we're around maybe 7th or 8th. And the other guy was like 300ths of a second ahead of us. So we were happy with that.
The Krolikowskis are the Group N winners. Andrew Havis is an excellent 5th. Tim Patterson takes 4th in Class 3. And then it's our heroes, Seamus Burke and Frank Cunningham. Congratulations, Seamus, an excellent result.
Thank you very much.
What, 3rd overall?
3rd overall, yes.
Well, there's an even better bit to it, isn't there?
Yeah, we're 10 point lead in the championship now.
Noel and Charlie watch as the boss goes through to 2nd place. But the Cherokee Trails belongs to Richard Tuthill and John Benny. The young UK pair have arrived on the American scene in some style, having dominated the event from start to finish. What makes it even more impressive is that the result has been achieved in a stretched Group N car. As the St. Pat's party gets underway, the Irish are very much on top. On top of the championship and even at the head of Hyundai in North America.
I am very pleased. I was actually surprised to look down the roster and see so many Irishmen, but you know, it's at the edge of danger, you'll probably find a few Irish.
Yes, it's party time in Chattanooga, and Richard is about to be treated to St. Patrick's Day with a difference. St. Pat's Southern style. With Red Butler and Scarlett O'Hara in attendance, you would never think that the Feds had been beaten. You wouldn't guess that the Irish hadn't won either, and it's certainly a great night to be in Dirty Nelly's in Chattanooga. At 2 in the morning, who cares if Elvis never visited the homeland, and if the Afro-Irish connection has not been historically that strong. Mark Lovell has gone on to win the 2001 American Championship, with Seamus Burke 2nd, and Richard has joined Noel in the Hyundai team.